So let me log into the personal developer instance. Okay. So let us imagine we'll go to the groups, guys. We'll not take groups. We'll take one table data. We'll take let us say we'll go to the tables. We'll pick one table from the database. Let us take major incident table. Okay. In this table, we have rows and columns, right? I clicked on show form instead of show list. So this is the data. Okay. So let us assume, I think there is a query business rule in place. Looks like I'm going to deactivate that. Okay, there are only 10 records only. I'm going to download all of these 10 records in the Excel sheet, okay? I have downloaded all of these records in the Excel sheet format. Okay. So here I'm going to delete all of these records in ServiceNow. In this table, I'm going to delete all the records, all the rows and columns. Okay. Zero data here. Let us assume the client has given this Excel sheet with you. So client has given this Excel sheet to you. Okay. Okay. So let us assume this Excel sheet is given by client. So client has told Uday, I'm giving you this Excel sheet data. I want you to load this data. I want you to create these 10 records. I want you to create these 10 records in major incident table in ServiceNow. That means whatever the here there is one row here, right? this row here appear in here. The Excel sheet row should appear here. So we have 10 rows here, right? Those 10 rows should appear here in the major incident table. So these 10 rows should appear as a 10 records in service now, guys. Okay. The requirement clear. So the point here is that whenever we are loading this data into ServiceNow will not allow you to directly load the data into this table. It will not directly allow you. ServiceNow will not allow you directly into this particular table. Let us say myself, Uday Gadiparthi. I want to meet Andhra Pradesh Chief Minister. Okay. Do you think directly they will allow me to contact? I have to go through the security process, right? Hmm? So first of all, I'll go to CM office. There I'll be check tested that am I carrying any illegal weapons? Am I doing any illegal things? Or they will first do security checks. So if they find that okay, this guy is okay, we can allow him. Then they will allow to meet chief minister, isn't it? Here, major incident table is a chief minister table. Let us assume. If I want to load this data, ServiceNow will not allow you to directly load the data into this major incident table. Okay. In between, there is a security office. We have to go through all the checks and we have to meet a chief minister. Okay. Let us say myself, if I want to chief minister, I will go to a CM office. There I will sit, security will check. Then they will allow me to meet chief minister. Hmm? Isn't it? So similarly, here, first of all, this Excel sheet data, I have to load in temporary tables. There is another concept called temporary tables concept in service. So here, CM office is there, right? CM office is a temporary table here. There I'll go to the security checks. After security checks are completed, then I'll go to the CM, Chief Minister. Similarly, first of all, I have to load this data into temporary table. I'm going to create one temporary table in the database, okay? Go to tables. I'm going to create a temporary table now. So the name of the table I'm giving here as temp major incident. Okay. So here, while creating the table itself, you have to extend import set row table. So when you extend import set row table, it is called a temporary table. It is called temporary table. Okay. I created one temporary table in ServiceNow, guys. This table is already there. So I created a table, temporary table in the database. How can you recognize that that is a temporary table? If it is extending imports at row table, that is considered as temporary table. So here, what is the difference between temporary table and normal table is that in the temporary table, data is available only for 1 week. In the temporary table, data is available only for 1 week. After 1 week, automatically data is erased. Okay. So I created a temporary table, right? First of all, what I do is that I load the data into this temporary table. From this temporary table, I will move it to target table. You understand my point, right? So first I will load the data into this temporary table and I will check whatever the data that is coming into service now is valid data or not. Every row is valid row or not, I will check. Hmm? Let us say here I am passing Hitler name as caller. Is Hitler user account is there in service now? Hitler user account is not there in service now, right? So here, when I am creating this row in service now, in the caller field, Hitler is an unknown name in service now, right? You should not accept it. Okay, I have to verify this record. Whatever the details that are coming in this record, if these details are there in service now or not, I have to check that. If only when these details are there in service now, then this record should be allowed in target table. See, as it is, whatever the data that you have in Excel sheet, as it is all data, I'll move to this temporary table. Let me just click on show list here. All this Excel sheet data as it is, okay, temp major incident one table, okay. So in this table, I'll as it is load the data. After loading it, I will verify each row is having all the valid information or not. If each row is having valid information, then I will move that row to I'll move that record to that major incident target table. If I found every row, if let us say if I found first row has invalid details, then I'll stop first row. Then I'll go for second row. Second row has valid details. I'll allow second row to go to target table. I'll go for third row. Third row is having valid details or not, I'll check. If third row is having valid details, I'll allow third row. Fourth row. Fourth row is having invalid details. So I will stop fourth row in the temporary table itself. I will not move fourth row to target table. So likewise, here I have to check each record has valid information or not. If only when you have each record has valid information, then you will transform the data into target table. So is that clear for everyone what exactly is happening here and all? Guys, everyone. So guys, whenever we load the data from Excel sheet into ServiceNow will never allow you to load the data into target tables. This is target table. This is temporary table. So what I do is that first I will load all the Excel sheet information as it is in the temporary table first. After loading the data into temporary table, each row is having valid information or not, I will check. If each row is having valid information, then I will load the data into, I will transform that record, that row into target table, guys. Row by row, every row we have to check. So you will load the data, right? First row, you will check. First row is having valid information or not. Second row is having valid information or not. Third row is having valid information or not. Let us say if there are 1,000 rows, 1,000 rows it will check. Okay. So then what I do is that you have to go to load data in the application navigator. Okay. So here we have already created one table, right? You have to select our table. Temp major incident, one table. This is the table that we created, right? Okay. If you want to create a table from here, you can also create a table from here as well. Create table. So I created table from the directly tables. Instead, you can, by selecting create table, you can also create a table from here. Okay. It also create the same. For yourself, if you want to create a temp major incident 2. So with this name, it will create a new table in the database. So in this table, we are going to load the data. Okay. So let me, you can see source of import, I am selecting file. The client has given me a file, right? This file. So I'll select this file here. Guys, here in this file, you can see we have only one sheet available here. This is sheet number one. You can see sheet number two, sheet number three. Okay. So now we have only one sheet available here. Sheet number one, header row. Header row is having column names, right? So that is what I am mentioning here. Sheet number one, header row one. Just to submit it. Once you submit it, what exactly it does is that it will actually create a import set. So guys, remember, let us say you are loading the data 5 times. 5 import sets will be created. For every data load, there will be an import set is created. So in fact, this concept name is not data load. We can call it as import sets. For every data load in ServiceNow, it is considered as import set. So now we are loading the data, right? It will create a import set. After creating the import set, okay, this Excel sheet data will be stored in the temporary table. I'll quickly show you. Let me click on submit here. Okay. So total processed 10 rows. Inserts 10 rows. Inserts means created. See, insert means create operation, guys, remember. You can see I'm just opening import sets here. This is the import set that is created now. This is the import set number. I set means import set number. File, type file, format Excel sheet. Loaded state. This is the temporary table. This is the Excel sheet that you uploaded. What time you uploaded? What time the load completed? So this import set is created, okay? Then if you go to the load data, you will be able to see the data in temporary table. Okay. Affected caller, assignment group, assigned to number, category. Yeah, wait. You can see row number 0. So total 9 rows. 9 rows means it started with 0, right? Total 10 rows are there. So this Excel sheet 10 rows are actually loaded to this temporary table. Row 0, row 1, row 2, row 3, row 9. Hmm? Excel sheet rows are started with 0. So in the column we have taken Hitler, right? In the Excel sheet. The same name is there in the row 1. We have passed Hitler, right? So all this information we stored in the temporary table. This Excel sheet data we load in the temporary table. Guys, in the temporary table, data is only stored for 1 week. This temporary table can have dummy data as well, so invalid data as well. In the Excel sheet, can we confirm that all the data that is there in the Excel sheet is valid information? Can you confirm? No, right? You cannot confirm that in the Excel sheet all the data that you have is valid. You cannot confirm that. So you are loading this Excel sheet data into this temporary table. Why are you storing it? Because it might have some invalid data. That is why you are storing in temporary table. And here, what you do in ServiceNow in this temporary table, you will store the data only for 1 week. Okay. So import set is created, data is loaded into temporary table. Now what I have to do, I have to transform this data from this temporary table to target table, right? Target table is this one, major incident table. From this temporary table to this target table, I have to transform the data. Hmm? Then what I do is that I have to create a transform map. Is one of the important concepts. So I did not create the transform map already. We'll create a transform map. Hmm? So now if you can see here, when I create a transform map here, you are going to create a transform map between. Table will be as it is. Table data will be erased. After 1 week, data will be lost. Okay. So this is the temporary table. Okay. I am going to select the target table as our major incident table. Okay. So I don't want to run the business rule on the major incident table. Okay. We'll discuss about what is this run business rule checkbox, what is enforce mandatory fields checkbox, what is a copy empty fields, what is create new record on empty coinage fields, what is this run script, and all we'll discuss in a moment. Now I created a transform map between temporary table and target table. Okay. So if you take a look at here, temporary table has color field. Temporary table color field, I have to map it with the major incident color field. Temporary table assignment group, I have to map it with the target table assignment group. So then I have to do the field mapping. Guys, to do the field mapping, here you can see this field name is color. This field name is also color. Both names, both labels should match to map the field mapping. See, temporary table color name, color label, target table color label, both are same, right? So that automatically field mapping will happen. So here I go to the transform map now. Here you can see auto map matching fields. If both the temporary table field label, target table field label, both are matching, field mapping will happen automatically when you click on this link, auto map matching fields. Click on auto map matching fields. You can see here, temporary table color field is mapped with the target table color field. Temporary table assignment group is mapped with the uh, target table assignment group. You can see source field. Source means temporary table. Target means major incident table. Hmm? So here, right, let us imagine source table field name, field label. Let us say here, somewhere it is requester. In place of caller, it is requester. So in target table, it is caller. You have to map requester with the caller. In that case, field mapping will not happen automatically. So in that case, you have to do the field mapping manually using mapping assist. Okay. Let us say we want to map comment with the display name. You can see you are doing field map manually. if Excel this source table column label and target table column label both are same, automatically mapping will happen. If you click auto map matching fields, let us say both are not same. Source table column label and target table column label both are not same. Then you have to do mapping manually using mapping assist. Okay, I'm removing this one. Okay, so here comes the music. You have to understand it carefully. The music starts now. So far, everybody will be able to understand. Now, from here onwards, you should be able to understand. In the color field, what exactly I am doing here? I am passing the color as Hitler, right? Huh? So, do you think in the major incident color field, we'll go to the major incident color field? Are we able to see any Hitler field here? Hitler record here? No, right? There is no Hitler record in service now, right? Then what should I do? If any unknown value is coming, if an unknown value is coming, I have to I don't want to transform this particular row into target table. Hitler is an unknown value, right? Then what I do is that I'll go to the transform map here. In the transform map, I'll open the color field here. Okay. In the color field, in case if any unknown value is coming, okay, if unknown value is coming, reject the row. Don't transform the row to the target table. Okay. So here you can see there is a field called choice action. Here in the field map choice action, I am selecting reject here. Okay. Now you see here, I have selected here as reject here. Choice action as reject. In the color field, if any unknown value is coming, total row reject the total row. Okay. Now guys, what I do is that I will now scroll up and click on transform here. I'll click on transform. Total 9 rows will be transformed. First row will be ignored because it has Hitler name. Unknown value is there, right? It will ignore that. It will reject that. That row is not transformed to the target table. Only nine rows will be transformed. Click on transform here. Now you go to the major incident table. Now here click on all. So here you are able to see how many rows are transformed here. Total 9. So we loaded 10 rows, right? Only 9 rows are loaded here. Why only 9 rows are loaded? One row is not loaded because unknown value is coming in this row, right? That is why I rejected this row transformation. Hmm? Understand, right? This is the first case. Suppose if unknown value is coming, Hitler, okay? In the color field, if unknown value is coming. So if you want to create a new user account for Hitler, it will create a new user account for Hitler. So here, this time what exactly I am doing is that I am going to remove this, I am going to delete this 10 record, 9 records again, okay? Okay, here this time instead of reject, I am selecting create here, create. What exactly it does is that it will create Hitler user account. The color field we are referencing users, right? In this user table, it will create a user account. So now let me load the data. So guys, this time you don't have to struggle. Just go to load data. We have already temporary table 2, right? Select the file, click on submit here. So this time import set will be created. For every data load, import set will be created. Data is loaded into temporary table. I don't have to create a transform map here. We have already transform map available, right? In the previous case, we don't have transform map. That is why we created it. Now we have already transform map, right? We will click on run transform this time. So we'll click on run transform here. Now here you can see in the transform history, you can see how many rows are actually total, how many inserted, 10. If you go to the major incident table, this is our target table. Total 10 records are there. Hitler user account is also created here. You can see this is Hitler user account or not. Hitler user account is created, right? So let me delete that Hitler user account first. See, if any unknown value is coming, if you select the choice action as rejector, row transformation will be stopped. In case if you select choice action as create, unknown value will be created in ServiceNow. In case if you select ignore, only caller field mapping will be ignored. If any unknown value is coming, only caller field mapping will be ignored. Let us say here in the Excel sheet, I am going to there is short description. Okay. So we have 10 rows. Short description I updated here. Okay. Let me delete all of them. So I'm going to load the data now. Okay. So this time here in the Excel sheet, I am passing caller as Hitler. Okay. I am passing caller as Hitler. So only Hitler value will not be updated. Hitler value will be ignored. What this value will be ignored. Record will be created, but only this field value will be ignored. We have selected choice action as ignore. Run transform. Go to the transform history. 10 rows are there, 10 rows are inserted. Now you can see here 10 rows are there, right? So Uday Gadiparthi is the default value, right? default value. It has taken default value. Hmm. Ideally, caller field is Hitler. Hitler means it should ignore, right? Hitler value is not taking. It has ignored. Instead of
Okay.
that, in place of this, it has taken Uday Gadiparthi name. Uday Gadiparthi is the default value, right? What we will do is that we'll try to remove the default value.
Uday, in before transform app, while we choose action as create, you said Hitler user will be created, right?
Yeah.
So now the Hitler user is present in the list. Then why?
I think you have listened to the session only for certain time. After that, I told you, right? We have selected choice action ignore also, right?
Yes.
Then if you select the choice action as ignore, if you select the choice action as ignore, field mapping will
Hmm.
be ignored, right?
Okay.
So I'm removing the default value here. Just give a try once. Okay. So what exactly I'm doing is I'm going to load the data. Here, Shravani, right? Shravani, I have selected choice action as ignore.
Yes.
Ignore only field mapping will be ignored. Only field
Okay.
mapping will be ignored. Only this caller value will be ignored. Okay.
Okay.
Load data. Run transform. Transform. Go to the transform history. 10 total 10 rows are there. 10 rows are created. We'll go to the target table and we will see if the Hitler value is there or not. Hitler value is not there, right? It has ignored it.
Yes.
Remaining values are taken. Remaining values are taken, guys. Okay. Getting my point, right? Remaining values are taken. I think 1044 record. For 1044 record, Hitler value is ignored. Hmm? Remaining values are taken. Only this field mapping is ignored. See, there are three cases for choice action, guys. Okay. I am just passing here as Bin Laden. So Bin Laden user account is not there in service now. Hmm? In case if you select the choice action as rejected, as Bin Laden name is not there in service now, right? Total this row transformation will be rejected. Total row will be rejected. In case if you select choice action as create, Bin Laden user account will be created in service now. Okay. In case if you select choice action as ignore, field mapping will be ignored because Bin Laden is an unknown value to service now, right? Bin Laden is an unknown value to service now. So if an unknown value is coming, you can do three things. You can reject the row transformation. You can create an unknown value in service now, or you can ignore it. These are the three choice actions we can do. Are you able to understand, guys? Hmm? Clear, right?
Yes.
For now, I am selecting ignore. Okay. If any unknown values are coming, ignore it and do the transformation. And now we will take category field. Category is a color is a reference field, right? Color is a reference field, and category is a choice field. In this choice field, I am giving Apple as a category. Is Apple category is there in ServiceNow? Is Apple
No.
category there in ServiceNow?
No.
No, right? If an unknown category is coming into ServiceNow, we have to reject the row transformation means, then you will select the choice action as rejector. So we'll go to the category field mapping, okay? Where is the transformer? Hmm. Category, right? So I'm opening the category field mapping, okay? Here I have selected the choice action as rejector. Okay, if an unknown choice is coming, reject the total row transformation. Then here I am selecting choice action as rejector. So now we will load the data into ServiceNow, okay? Run transform, transform, transform history. You can see total 9 inserted, 1 skipped. So what we can do is we can just go to the import set. We can go to the import set. In the import set, you can see import set rows here, total 10 rows, right? You can see here choice field value category rejected Apple. Okay. Choice field value for major incident category rejected Apple. 0 row. 0 row means first row. This one is rejected. This row transformation did not happen. Do you see here only total will be able to, I did not delete previous data, right? So it will create duplicate records. So what I mean to say is row transformation is rejected. Where is that? So row transformation is rejected. So let me delete all the data here. Okay. So in this data load, what has happened? 9 rows are actually inserted, 1 row rejected row transformation. In case in the category, if you selected a choice action as create, it will create a Apple choice in ServiceNow. Row transformation will happen. In case if you select ignore, only field mapping, category field mapping will be ignored, row transformation will happen. In the create case, ignore case, row transformation will happen. In the reject case, row transformation will not happen. So in the create case, what exactly does it will create a new Apple choice and row transformation will happen. In the second case, ignore field mapping only, category field mapping will be ignored and row transformation will happen. So in that case, if you take a look at here, caller is a reference field. Category is a choice field. If an unknown reference value or unknown choice value is coming, we can take choice actions. Okay. If that is clear, guys, if you take a look at here, now I am going to make it as ignore here. Okay. Let me delete the major incident data. Okay. I am going to load the data, guys, here. Transform. Here, you can see 10 rows are actually loaded and total 10 rows are created. Okay. This is 10 rows are actually created. Field map ignored here. You can see 1044 record caller is ignored as well as category also ignored. Software means it was already there, right? Uh, 1044. Mm, category software. We'll load it one more time. The category field we have selected ignore, right? Field mapping will be ignored because here we are passing Apple. So total 10 rows are actually inserted. Category is still showing as. We'll see is there any default value or not. Okay. So there is a default value software. That is why it is coming. Okay, that is fine. Now we will understand. Guys, here total 10 rows are actually inserted, right? Okay. Now here when I load the data load second time, with this same number, another record will be created in ServiceNow. Duplicate records for every data load, it will be creating duplicate records. You can see here. So already 10 records are there, right? See this number 1044 with this number, what this record is already created in ServiceNow, right? This record is nothing but this one. But when I load this Excel sheet second time, it will create another record in ServiceNow. With the same details, it will create another record in ServiceNow. But let me load the data now. Okay. So total 20. With the same number 1044, there are two records are there, right? If I load second time, see the same information, the same details, two records are there, right? If I load third time, third record will be created. Okay. Now you go to the measure instance table with the same number. There are actually three records. Hmm? Every time when you load the data, it will be keep on creating the records, guys. Huh? So why do we need multiple records with the same information? We don't need, right? So here that means for every data load, it is creating duplicate records, right? So how can I avoid duplicate records? So to avoid duplicate records, what should I do is that I have to inform service now. So if this number is already there in service now, update it. Don't create new record. For the first time, if this first time it will check if this number is there in service now. First time obviously this number will not be there in service now, right? It will create it. Second time, if this number is there in service now or not, it will check. Second time it will be there in service now, right? Second time, instead of it will create new record, it will update the same record. Getting my point, right? So now what exactly I am doing is that let me delete all of these records. I am deleting all of these records, okay? So no data is in there in service now. Here what I do is that I am going to the transform map. In the transform map, I am going to open the number field here. Number field. When I open the number field, in the number field there is a coalesce checkbox. Coalesce checkbox. Okay. Save this one. Coalesce. What it does is that if this number from Excel sheet, that number is there in service now or not, it will check. If number is already there in service now, instead of it, it will not create new record. It will update the same record. If the number is not there in service now, it will create a new record. So I made a number as coalesce, okay? In this field map, let me refresh it. Now you'll be able to understand. So I made number as coalesce true. Okay. So here what exactly will happen whenever I load this Excel sheet into service now, each number is there in service now or not, it will check. If the number is not there in service now, it will create it. You can see no number is there in service now, right? In the major incident table now, no number is there. So that all records will be created. Let me load the data. Why one ignored, one skipped? Bill caller ignored, right? See, field mapping is ignored. Why record is ignored? We'll see why the record is skipped and all. Okay, coalesce is empty. So one number is not found is what it is telling. So this one is considered as row here and this is also considered as row. Number is not found is what it is telling. For this particular one, there is no number. Hmm? Not 11th record. First row, right? First row is columns, right? Hmm? So as number is not there, it has not, it hasn't created record. So what I do, I'm just giving some number, okay. Total 9 created. One ignored because coil is number is not there. If the number is not there, service now is thinking that number is with the, if there is no coil is found, it will not create a record. Total 10 records, 10 are inserted. We'll go to the target table of 10 records. Okay. Now what I am doing is that I am just, let me just change the short description, okay? I just change the short description for every record. This time when I load this one, it should not create any new record. It should update the existing short description. It should not create any new record. Let me save this Excel sheet. Because this coalesce is there, right? Number coalesce. It will not allow you to create the duplicate records. It will allow you, if number is already there, it will update that record. Suffering from cold guys. You can see here total 10 records, 10 are updates. If you go to the major incident, did it create any new record, guys? Total 10 records are there. Total 10 records are there. So if you take a look at short descriptions, all short descriptions are updated. It did not create any new record. It just updated existing record. That is because of coalesce. Coalesce is very important. Suppose if I make number as well as number as well as color coalesce. Number and color field is also coalesce I am making. Okay, two fields I made coalesce. Here what exactly I am doing here? So number and caller both I made queries, guys. So number and caller both values are matching, only then record will be updated. You getting my point, right? Whenever we are loading this data, if with the same number, with the same caller, if record exists, that record will be updated. Let us say number found and caller is not matching, it will still create a new record. Getting my point, right? If number found, but caller is not there in the same record, number is matching, caller is not matching, then it will create a new record. If number and caller both are matching, it will update the record. So let me load the data. Ten records created this time. We'll go to the major incident table with the same number. Okay, with the same number, there are two records. If you see here, number and caller both are different, right? Getting my point? If number is matching and caller is not matching, what it does, it will create a new record. If number and caller both are matching, it will update the record. So we can have more than one field as query is true, guys. If you have more than one field as query is true, all fields should match, all field values should match to update the record. If only one field value is matching, other field value is not matching, means it will still create a new record. Okay. So I am going to remove this caller field as query is true. Okay. Clear, right? Hmm? So now, guys, I'll wind up at 10:30. Even I don't have energy to continue because I'm suffering from cold. Okay. So in this major incident table, guys, okay, there is a concept called business rules concept. Business rules concept. Okay. So if you have already created any of the business rules here, okay. So what you will do, you will load the data into temporary table, transform map will run, each row will be transformed, each row will be transformed. After transformation on each row, we can also run the business rules as well. If you want to run the business rules, you will check this checkbox. On the target table, if you want to run the business rules, you will check this checkbox, guys. Guys, I told you when I was, I think for 6 p.m., guys, I did not explain about business rules. But 9 a.m. guys and 7 p.m. guys, I already explained about business rules. Business rules run from after CRUD operations from any source. Now, what exactly we are doing? We are doing create operation, update operation from the Excel sheet. Now we are doing create operation and update operation from Excel sheet. Okay. So after CRUD operation from the Excel sheet also, if you want to run the business rules, you have to check this checkbox. Okay. In the major incident table, we have some mandatory fields, right? In the major incident table, we have mandatory fields, right? Caller field mandatory, configuration item field mandatory, assignment group field mandatory. Let us assume I am going to make it enforce mandatory fields. Okay, only mapped fields are all mandatory fields. So here in the major incident table, what are all the mandatory fields that are there? If those mandatory fields are not coming, row transformation will not happen. I'll quickly show you. I have checked enforce mandatory fields here, right? I'm not passing. Assignment group is a mandatory field. I'm removing this one. Configuration item is mandatory, right? Um, I'm going to delete the data first. Hmm. One. Okay, only number is coil is. Okay, as well as mandatory fields are there. Enforce mandatory fields checkbox I checked. I am not passing any mandatory fields. Okay, assignment group and configuration item are mandatory fields in the table, right? So we will see here zero records are actually inserted. Zero records are inserted, guys. Total 10 errors. What are those errors? We will read it. Okay, complete with errors. What are those errors? We will read it. Configuration item field is mandatory field. Configuration item field is mandatory field. Getting my point, right? If any mandatory fields are there in this target table, if those mandatory fields are not coming, if you want to stop the row transformation, then you can select enforce mandatory fields, all fields. For now, I am selecting no. You understand, right? Now, guys, here copy empty fields. By default, service now will not copy empty fields. I'll show you. Okay. Uh, Here, right? What exactly I am doing is that in this major incident table, do we have data already? Okay. Right. Okay. First, let me load it first. I removed enforce mandatory, right? Here. I removed it. Okay. Let me load the data. Okay. Now we have 10 records are there in this table. Okay. If you take a look at categories are software. Hmm? Now, what exactly I am doing is uh, configuration item will take application development group is assignment. Assignment group is application development. Now, what exactly I am doing is that I am going to remove some of the. I'm making it as empty. Okay, assignment group as empty. Guys, by default, these empty values are not copied in service now. You can see 1044 record assignment group empty I made, right? Let me load the data now. You can see 10 ignored. Is the reason. What is the reason ignored? No values changed. There is no value change, right? We'll change the short description. Okay. Ten updates. We will see assignment. Uh, we'll see assignment group has become empty or not for this. But we have passed here as empty, right? For few records, for this particular record, assignment group as I passed as empty. For this particular record, I passed assignment group as empty. Isn't it? But did it made assignment group as empty here? No, right? But assignment group is not a default value. Assignment group doesn't have default value. Because transform map by default will not copy the empty values. If you want to copy the empty values, you have to check this checkbox. Now I check this checkbox, right? Now I'll load the data now. The problem is that here I have to change, at least I have to make any one change to update it. This time you see empty values are copied. Assignment group has become empty, right? Here we are passing empty. Here we are passing as empty. So likewise, you can copy the empty values only when the checkbox is checked. So guys, here earlier, if you remember, coil is number is empty. Coil is number is empty. In that case, it has ignored it. On the empty coil is field, if you want to create a new record. Now you see here in this Excel sheet. But for this particular record, number is empty. If the number is empty, it will ignore the record, right? See, if number is there, it will check service now will check if the number is there in service now or not. If the number itself is not there, service now cannot check, right? So here on the empty coil is fields. Number is the coil is field, right? On empty coil is field. If you want to create a new record, just check this checkbox so that we'll be able to create a new record. Now here, let me just save this one. I am going to make a small change on this one. Okay? Hmm. Only one inserted. Even though we passed coil is empty. Okay, here we have passed coil is empty. Still it has created new record, right? Hmm? One record is created. That is because of coil is empty. Okay. Getting my point, right? Okay. Now the last one, run script. In the Excel sheet, I am going to add three more columns here. Okay. Three more columns. Hmm. Value 1. Value 2. Value 3. But here in the Excel sheet, we have three fields, three columns, but in ServiceNow, we have only one column. That means these three I should combine and I have to keep it in one field. Getting my point, right? Here, if you take a look at the field map, can you make three fields into one field here? Is there any option to keep three fields? You can map it with one field. There is no option here, right? If you want to map three fields with one field, then you have to use scripting here. So you will do field mapping using scripting here. Getting my point, right? So in this measure instance table, I am going to create one more field here, total value. Okay. It show record not found. This field is right. So target refers to target table here. Okay, target refers to target table field. Target dot u underscore total underscore value is equal to is equal to parse int source dot u underscore value 1. Value 2, value 3. So using plus operator, you are adding value 1, value 2, value 3 in this total value field. Save this one, okay? Now I am going to load the data now. Okay. Now we'll go to the measure incident table. We will see total value is coming as 30 or not.
We have not mapped this field in transform map, right?
So we cannot map it. That is why we are mapping it using stripping.
Okay.
This value 2 spelling is value 1, value 2, value 3, right? Field names we have taken wrong. Okay. You can see total value is coming as 30. Why this one? These two are missing. Okay, these two are newly created records. Even for new record created also it should update, right? So here finally what exactly are we doing in the Excel sheet? The three field values you are combining into one field using this run script, guys. See, run script is used to do the field mapping using scripting. Target refers to target table, major incident table. Source refers to temporary table. Again, while you are actually loading the data, is that a insert operation or update operation also you can check it. Okay. So guys, here coil is number, we made number as coil is. If that number already there in service now, it will update that record. It will not create a new record. You are clear, right? So we have again transform map, transform scripts concept as well as we have data sources concept. We'll discuss about it later in coming sessions, okay? So any questions for me regarding today's session? I have unmuted everyone.
Hi Uday, I have one question.
Yes, please.
In Excel sheet, we are finding the caller error or category errors manually. Is it possible that we can find it automatically when we get the Excel?
No, I did not understand your question.
Normally, the caller has a different name, right? It is not in service now.
Hmm. Hmm.
Manually, find that it is wrong. Is it possible to find that whatever
We are
the
not
false
able to, we are
information?
not finding it manually, right? So we are, this coil is, this field mapping is finding it. We
But
are
there
not
we
finding
have choose field name, right? Uday caller. If you
it.
are not aware which field has
No, no.
incorrect.
Here you did not understand the concept clearly. Here we taken one unknown name here, okay?
Okay.
Service now will by default check it. Service now will by default check it if that value is there in service now or not.
Okay.
Okay. If it is an unknown value, if rejected is selected, road runs will be rejected. Service now will understand that that value is there in service now or not. By default, it will check.
Sure, I got it. Thank you.
We don't manually check, guys. If you pass any unknown value, let us say able tutor is there. Somehow you spelling mistake you passed. Let us say my name is Uday Gadiparthi, right? Why I missed? Okay, service now will understand that this name is not there in service now. Automatically service now will understand. Okay, in case if you have selected reject, row transformation will be rejected. In case if you selected ignore, choice field mapping will be ignored. In case if you have selected choice action as create with this particular name, it will create a new user account. Service now will by default check it, guys.
Yeah, one question in there. Like using transform script, can we set a value to a field?
Yeah, that is what we are doing, right?
Yeah, right.
Here
I
we are
want.
actually
Mm,
setting the target table field value by combining all these three field values, right?
yes. Like if we set the caller value as a new, I mean, the user which is not in the service now, and we take a caller action as a choose action as a ignore, then will the caller field set or it will take the empty value?
See, obviously, when you select the choice action as ignore,
Hmm.
it will ignore the value.
Okay.
It will ignore the value.
Then the script won't work, right? Okay.
See, first of all, in the script, as we are mentioning the value means, so here you mean to say source dot u underscore caller. Hmm? In the target caller field, you are passing source caller, okay? If
Hmm.
caller is not there, you have to ignore the field mapping.
Yes.
So in that case, what you will do, you have to write a glide record here to check if the user is already there in service now or not.
Okay. Got it.
Understand, right?
Yeah. Got it, Uday. Understood.
With this name, if a record exists,
Hmm.
then you do it.
Okay.
Else it will ignore it.
Got it.
Okay. So you can write any server-side scripting here in the transform map, guys. You can write any server-side script here in this transform map run script here. Okay, we are yet to discuss so many things in the transform map. We'll discuss in coming sessions. Okay.